Okay, folks, I'd like to call this meeting, Committee of the Whole, to order. Before I do call for adoption of the agenda, just have an announcement here. Our town lost a great friend and citizen yesterday as Sheila Carvalho passed away suddenly. Sheila was a longtime treasurer of the MacDonald Wood Society, and our condolences go out to her family and friends at this time. Now I'd like to call for adoption of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Okay, our first delegation this afternoon is Don Castleton and Kayla Holbrook from the Comox Valley Project Watershed Society to demonstrate the online interactive map of the Comox Estuary. You've got 10 minutes for your presentation, and we're looking forward to it.
So Don Castleton's off to England to visit his family, so I'll take his place. My name is Dan Bowen. I'm a director with Project Watershed. I'm involved with projects. I'm on the Blue Carbon Committee, as well as being a member of the Estuary Working Group. And I'd like to introduce a couple of other members. We have Paul Horkin here, who's our chair, and Bill Hendrick, who's our vice chair. And we have Jennifer Selthers, who's one of our administrative assistants. So the purpose of this presentation is to show you the work to date. It's a work in progress of the interactive map of the Comox Estuary. And Kayla can take it from here.
Thank you, Dan. So we've been working on this project for about a year. This is really a pet project of Don Castleton, who is unfortunately not able to be here today. He had a vision that we would be able to pool all of our community's information and resources into one place. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for people who want information about the estuary, a place where they can go and get that all in one digestible, easily accessible place. So that's where this came from. We went to a host of different sponsors, and you can see some of them listed there. Actually, that's all of them. We're reapplying this year to most of them for funds. This will be the second year of this project, phase 2. So we're going to show you what we've got so far, and then we will talk about where we're going from there. So what we did at first is we have a lot of data and a lot of information on the estuary, and there's lots of things always being produced over time. So we're separating all of this information into different themes, so it's a little more easily digestible by people in the public, and it's just not a massive information. So at the moment we've got 2 themes: ecology and restoration, which we're going to look at today, and history and recreation. So this takes you to our map, which is a Google base. So anything that a Google map can do, this can do. You can zoom in and zoom out. You can turn on and off the satellite view. So we've got the satellite view right now, and if you want just your Google Maps view, you can do that as well. But then it gets to our data, and if we look to the left-hand side, we've got a list of different layers. So these are all the different kinds of information that can be turned on and off in our map. And as I said, we're going to be adding to this, but this is what we've got up at the moment. Most of this information is information that we've collected ourselves and made into a publicly kind of accessible format. And so you click on the layer that you want to look at. So we've clicked on water bird observations and bird count data. So those are the yellow areas and the yellow bird at the top there. And every bit of this map is clickable. So anything on the layers that you want to have more information about, you simply click on it, like this bird. If we click there, this shows you water bird count for different seasons, both water birds and waterfowl. So this is kind of the kind of information that people will be able to get. As part of this, there will be some text that talks about what you're seeing, as well as links to reports that have been done by people like Art Martell, who are bird experts in the area. And then as well, photos. We're just working on getting some nice photos of each representative species to show up as well. So if people want to go bird watching and in Comox, they'll know what they're going to see at what time. So that's one of the kinds of data that we've got up there. We're also going to look at, if we move the map up a bit, so we're going to take our hand, anyways, if we click on one of these blue lines, these are streams, and they have their own set of information on each of them. So you have to move your cursor right over the blue line, and it will, once you have the pressy hand, you know you've got something to click on. So let's get to the finger. And yeah, exactly. And and you can see that it'll tell you all the information. It'll tell you some of the information that we have collected about that data set. So it'll be whether there's fish presence, the name of the stream, and then if you're on a tributary or if it's the main stream itself. Okay, so this is just a quick look at some of the information that we have. Yeah, we can zoom in and zoom out. As well as we have multimedia stuff here as well. So we've got video, these interactive graphs, as well as slideshows. We're going to look at one of the slideshows now quickly. This slideshow looks at eelgrass planting. Okay, so we won't view the slideshow, but if we scroll down on the box there, so basically it will tell, we've got some photos that go with eelgrass, and people can flip through the photos. If you, it doesn't work, we won't do it now, but you could press on that and it will take you to the external place where those photos are hosted, and you could flip through them. And it tells the story of an eelgrass plant we did in the Royston Rex area. And then at the bottom there's text to talk about where you can go to find more information, whether it be on our site or on some other site. So it really gives people, within a quick moment of time, a whole bunch of information that they can access on specific topics. So that's just a quick look at our map, and we're going to go, there's also a history and recreation, which we've just started building, and that one of the exciting things is we're working with Comox Museum. So they've given us a whole bunch of settlement data. They've been working on plotting out who's settled the Comox Valley since the 1860s. So in our history map, we'll have different layers of who the first settlers were and who subsequently bought those parcels, and how Comox and the rest of around the Comox estuary was settled over time. So that's kind of an interesting one as well. So this gives you a look at the kind of data, some of the data that we're putting on there. And we've got a host of other things that we're just in the process of uploading. So we've taken this year to look at the kind of data that we want to be putting up and collecting it from different sources. We've got a broad list of restoration projects, some of them that we're working on currently, so that people can get a good look at exactly what we're doing in different locations of our restoration projects, as well as projects that could be done in the future by ourselves or other people who want to get involved in the estuary. We were also looking at the Coastal Invasive Species organization, and they're going to be sharing with us their information on invasive species in the estuary, so we'll have those outlined as well. And another component that we really hope to address this year with some of the funding that we're hoping to get is looking into climate change and adding a whole layer on climate change, so looking at modeling sea level rise and the effects of storm surges, etc., which will be important for our projects as well as other projects and functions that are occurring around the estuary. So what we're trying to do, one of the main goals of this map is to make this a tool for our community as a whole, whether you live in Comox, Courtenay, whether you're a recreationist, whether you're a historian, to make it as user-friendly and useful to as broad a user base as possible. You guys are the town of Comox, each of the municipalities have an important role to play in the protection and restoration of our estuary, so you're one of our target audiences. So one of the reasons we're here today is to ask for some staff time to help us brainstorm and create ideas and maybe do some data sharing on this map, so that in the future it is something that the town of Comox really can use, whether it be for referring developers to see how their project or development fits in with what's going on in the estuary currently and historically, or whether it's gathering public input for a project that you may be doing, or there's another, or perhaps just accessing it for your planning purposes, to see what we're doing and what other people around the estuary are doing. We're really hoping that many different groups across the valley will start contributing to this, and we've already contacted the naturalists and the coastal invasive species people and the other municipalities. So we're getting everybody on board to take this forward and make it a tool for the valley. And it's something that I think has a lot of applications, and we've just started to scratch the surface. So that's our ask for today, and I hope you enjoyed our map.
Are there any questions of council? Councilor Price.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, like, it's very impressive, and I'm so glad you're working with the Comox Museum. They're, as you know, doing a long-term project to map Comox through the many years. What sort of staff time did you see involved in this? What sort of input? How did you see the relationship working?
Well, what we like to do is, in a couple weeks, hold a workshop. So we have staff from perhaps different areas come to a central location, and we'll do a workshop looking at, go over how the map works now and how we're using it, and then brainstorm with people at that meeting. So we would probably have a 2-hour meeting, 2-hour workshop to brainstorm and gather some ideas. And then if we need some follow-up, it would be to go back, and if there's data that there is data to share for that process to be facilitated through those staff members. So we're not talking a lot of time, but having a couple people be able to be present and give their input would be very helpful to us.
And you'll be sending that date and time onto the town hall.
Exactly, yeah. That's the time.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions?
So just a question for Richard too. Would we need a staff report on this, or just a question of waiting for the letter to come in? And
I don't think so. I think I'll just take it as direction and probably contact them directly to see what it is that they're working towards, and see, again, what kind of total staff time we're looking at, and who would be appropriate to attend, and what kind of resources. So I don't think we need a report on it. We'll just take it as we'll work with them directly.
great, that sounds good.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Move along now. Okay, moving on to the department reports. As there are no minutes of meetings, we have a motion to receive the Town of Comox Water System 2013 test results.
Move.
Second.
Any questions on that? No, just one note there that for members of the public that this will be available on our website and also at the front counter of the town office, and it's good news again. So we're very well served, and our water system sounds good.
Before we move on, I think it's really good to be promoting that we do have such good water, particularly as we are a blue community. Comox did sign on to be a blue community supporting drinking tap water rather than bottled water. So I think just reminding our citizens that we're very fortunate and we have top quality products here.
For staff, and maybe want to take note that it might be consideration for the next newsletter to make mention of it. Any other discussion there? Before the department reports, I don't see any other department reports, but I want to give kudos to our Comox Fire Department and to Chief Gord for the successful Firefighters Youth Camp held this past week. Very well received, and a large number of volunteers go into that. And I'm wondering if we as a council want to send appreciation and a card or something to our fire chief and the many volunteers there that helped with that.
Okay.
Shelley, if you could take note of that, that would be great. There's no correspondence. There is nothing to exclude the public from.
Move adjournment.
Unless anyone wants to hear the Sermon from the Mount from Richard, I think we may be able to move a quick adjournment. And a seconder?
Second.
So, adjournment has been called, but that's the end of our, the home.